Hi, I'm John Barber, Editor-in-Chief at IDW Publishing, and welcome to Barber Shop. If you've watched these videos before, you probably know by now that I'm a big Turtles fan, and if you pay attention to comic book news, you might have seen that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, issue 2 hit the world last week with the highest print run of any IDW comic ever, which is really wild. Thanks everybody for caring and for reading. The enthusiasm and support for this comic has been overwhelming, and those of us lucky to be involved, even like me, just a little bit, know how much Ronin as a story, not to mention the support and enjoyment of the fans, all mean to Kevin Eastman, TMNT co-creator and guiding creative light on Last Ronin. If you've had your head buried inside your shell, and yeah, I know the TMNT can't do that, Last Ronin is set a few years in the future, when only one of the famous foursome is still alive, and he's dedicated to getting vengeance for whatever mysterious things happened to his brothers, by taking down the Foot Clan once and for all, whatever the cost. I don't want to spoil too much because maybe some of you haven't read issue 1 yet, but what I can tell you is that this series got its start in an outline written decades ago by Kevin and Peter Laird, the other half of the Turtles creators, and the story was fleshed out today by Kevin and longtime Turtles writer Tom Waltz. Kevin does the layouts with the astounding team of brothers Esau and Isaac Escorza drawing the fate of the titular Last Ronin in this dark future. In issue 2, we see him reunited with April O'Neil following a near disaster after last issue's attempt to take down the last member of the Oroku family. That's a lot of lasts, and that's no accident. This is an issue about endings, and about how endings begin. So I told you the Escorza brothers are drawing the near future world, and they are, but you may have noticed one page of flashbacks in issue 1, drawn by the inimitable Ben Bishop. Well, starting with issue 2, Ben's sequence grows. Here we see the moment that started the Turtles' downfall, and we see Raphael in battle with Karai, and we see what happened to Raph. And I'm not exactly going to spoil it here. It's a thing you've got to see, you've got to experience it for yourself. You know how when something bad happens to favorite characters, even when it's in a really good story, you see angry posts and emails and stuff, sometimes directed at, I don't know, the editor-in-chief of a company? The, how could you let this happen kind of thing? Well, I was getting those from inside the IDW offices when Ronin 2 came out last week. I mean, everybody could only be so angry, really, because Last Ronin, the comic, is so good. And the feelings of anger and, well, grief that you might feel, they're the same things our last remaining turtle feels. So you've got somebody there on the page experiencing the same thing you are, and we see how he dealt with things in a special sequence, fully drawn by Kevin Eastman in glorious black and white. If you were an old school TMNT fan like me, you remember those original Turtles issues from Mirage Publishing. They were in black and white with these really fine, really precise lines in the art that created a beautiful shading effect. This is because Kevin and Peter were using a special kind of paper called duo shade. The paper had an invisible printed coating that would become visible in the form of those precise fine lines when you paint a clear solution on it. 2 kinds of chemicals revealing 2 levels of shade, hence duo shade. Well, they stopped making that paper years ago, and you can fake the process digitally. But Kevin kept some duo shade paper, and he's used it here, just like he and Peter Laird did on TMNT number 1 back in 1984. For me, it's a powerful effect seeing the pain of a character I've loved almost my whole life through the brush of one of his creators, looking just like it did back when I first saw it, before the toys and the cartoons and the breakfast cereal. It's a hell of a comic. Anyway, Bobby Carnell, longtime TMNT editor, pulled this whole thing together, with equally longtime TMNT letterer Sean Lee making it all readable, and the incomparable Luis Antonio Delgado creating atmospheric and powerful colors on all but that duo shade sequence. And current TMNT ongoing writer-artist Sophie Campbell even dropped by to do a 1 in 10 variant cover. So, visit the IDW website or your local comic book store and check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Last Ronin number 2, on sale now. And as always, let's use this time to connect and keep the IDW community active. That's all for this week. Remember, you can keep up with IDW on social media and check back here every week for news and updates. Thanks for watching.